Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest monster truck diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCD.
Well, hello again, world, and welcome back to the Monster Truck Collecting Podcast for episode 17, the second part of the discussion of the 2010 year for Hot Wheels Monster Jam. Before we start, I want to kind of give a couple quick announcements. Number one, if you're attending the Orlando, Florida shows, specifically on Saturday, I'm not sure about Sunday for me yet, I will be there, hopefully for the first show on Saturday, and for sure I'll be there on the second or during the second show on Saturday for the Hall of Fame event. As far as Sunday goes, it's kind of up in the air right now, but I should be there. So if you're going there, I look forward to seeing you around from a distance, of course, but I'll take a 6 feet apart photo with you if you want one. So that's the first announcement. The second announcement is the Superstore truck for March 1st that we've been hyping up and talking about for a while now. Has been delayed. As far as how long it's been delayed, I do not have an answer yet, but I'll have hopefully some more clarity for the community in the coming week to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But it's worth the wait. I promise it is. People think it's like some St. Patrick's Day holiday truck. It's not. It's something new. It's something historic and well worth the wait, even if it takes longer. So be patient with the things going on. COVID is impacting a lot of things right now, especially on Spin Master's side. So just remain patient on that. But Orlando, yeah, I'll be there Saturday. I'm really excited. I'll be there with Austin Dahlgren, and I'm planning to meet a couple other people. So that's that. With that said, hello, Phil. Hello, RJ. How are you guys doing?
Man, I tell you, I've gone through a war today. We're trying to find ourselves a guest for the other podcast I'm involved with, and we found one, but my goodness gracious, we were way behind the eight ball because there was a certain Spider-Man that was pulling our chains. So got somebody else. So stay tuned to that announcement tomorrow. I am like, okay, so
we're all yellow today.
Robing himself. I've had a day, and I'm so excited just to be here and to sit down and calm down for like 4 seconds before I start screaming about something I don't agree with. So, how's RJ?
Good. All right. Fine. Looking forward to the podcast as always.
Man, you're like the most jolliest person here tonight, I tell you.
I was pretty jolly. Nothing to complain about.
But that's what I meant. Okay.
I'm still reeling over the shipping container losses, but other than that, we're moving forward.
We are moving forward, yes. Okay, so with that said, good intros here. Let's go ahead and let's actually...
I take back everything I said about arachnophobia in the previous episode.
Phil, if you want to filibuster for a second here, give me 1 second.
I take everything back I said about arachnophobia in the previous episode. If you know, you know. But God, man.
If you haven't listened or watched the other podcast, by the way, go check it out because that's going to fill you in on a lot of 2010. It's great stuff, and I wouldn't recommend missing that.
Yeah, if you're jumping in tonight, I would definitely want you to stick around too, but if you're like halfway lost on what's happening, make sure you check back our part 1, which is episode 16 on the 2010 line. And, just a cliff notes is that this has been highly regarded as like the best toy line that like any monster truck company ever put out. Just for the amount of the fan involvement and so much hype and the amount of new stuff. Like I think we counted like only like 6 or 7 re-releases. Six from where we stopped. So out of 45 trucks, there was only 6.
Yeah.
100% repeats. That's pretty intense.
All right. So here we go. Screen sharing on. So again, if you haven't watched that, like we just said, we covered all of these trucks. I think it was up to 45 because Phil wanted to jump into that Hot Wheels that repeated itself because the flag changed. So now we're going to continue on at 46, another new truck. And a returning casting from 2006, I think. We haven't seen that. Yeah, 2006. It was called. I'm really not remembering. Titus. I want to say that was like way off. My brain couldn't load there for a second. Also, a He-Man casting from the past. And by the way, speaking of He-Man, Hot Wheels has just brought back He-Man as a series, as they did with Super Mario and stuff. They're doing sub-series in their main line. And Battle Cat from Masters of the Universe is coming out from that sub-series. So I would highly expect He-Man to come out. Not the same casting, of course, but a return. So they're bringing back a lot of old things that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, I can't speak today, is also coming out. So there's a lot of stuff that we've just talked about, and Mattel's kind of just starting to churn them out as we're covering these old things. So it's really, really cool. A couple other new things on that note include what appears to be a return of Spectraflame. I had asked for a few photos. I hadn't got them back from someone who has the new assortment.
Did we know about the Town Hauler or Midwest Madness? I mean.
Yeah, that also is part of that series. I wanted some confirmation from people if they can get pictures of the VW Drag Bus and the Midwest Madness, which are both part of that new paint series. I can't remember what it's called, but I believe
something like
that. Something like that. Yeah. So we have a lot of throwback things returning. I guess the last thing we're going to expect to see would be a Mud series. So anyway, back to it. The Hot Wheels Originals, as we talked about last time, are this new series that Hot Wheels is doing this year in 2010. Now they're all originals, but Pillage Idiot is part of one of those. Again, using the He-Man Titus casting to continue on this new series. So this is the last time we'll see this casting, but here it is in this kind of burnt orange color. We have yellow Hot Wheels logo, Monster Jam logo, very basic graphics, like a fire color in the logo and then a flame at the bottom. Those same spikes, same inserts, nothing on the actual battle axe this time, but yeah, very basic return of, and actually retirement of, the Titus He-Man casting. They did still print on or color or paint these window spikes and then a yellow windshield, and it comes with that flag accessory. So with that said, I'll leave it to Phil to continue on with that.
Yeah, so when we talk about when the originals came back, I think this was pretty high up on the list of like tools that should be used again, because it was just so very unorthodox, and we knew it was possible because it was made for He-Man, and then they used it for a fantasy truck Titus in 2005. So made it totally possible to come out with this again. And man, you got to be an idiot if you don't like Pillage Idiot. It's such an easy design, but it's easy on the eyes, and I think anytime you use this body, it's going to be a winner. It's a real travesty we don't see it like ever again. Like a lot of these original bodies, you don't get to see these again after 2010. But maybe it could be this is kind of sharp and daunting. I mean, they got those spikes dull enough, but if you come at this the wrong way, you can lose an eye. So I can understand from that standpoint. I gotta say, maybe this is my least favorite of the three trucks that do use this body. But I'm not going to complain one bit because it's 2010. There's something to complain about.
Yeah.
Except for arachnophobia.
No, this one, I thought it was pretty pointy too. And I mean, I know He-Man back in the day was pointy. This one wasn't as pointy, but I didn't mind it. And it was probably, like Phil said, the least favorite original. But it's 2010. You ain't complaining, and you're buying.
Yeah. Also, as we've noted way back in the day, they were planning to do a 1/24 scale He-Man, and it's kind of understandable why they canceled that, because those spikes definitely could cause significant damage if thrown, fallen, different things that can happen with kids and things with giant spikes that can impale someone's eye. So anyway, let's continue on with number 47, another returning truck. But I mentioned this last time. I bought this one just for the flag. Backwards Bob, we did have a discussion about it last time, and it's returning with the same exact graphic layout. In a year, I think we'll see it with the updated graphics, the Monster Jam logo, taillights, headlights, all the other things that come along with Backwards Bob and standard pickup trucks. But here it is. If you guys didn't pick it up last year, your chance is back again this year. But this is the last, or maybe the second to last time you're going to see it with clear graphics. So if you wanted the nice graphics, this is one of the last times. But that flag is definitely awesome.
Yeah, that's another reason why 2010 is the peak for so much.
I know Phil wants to talk all about Backwards Bob, so go ahead.
Well, we already did. If you want to hear our very healthy discussion on Backwards Bob, go back to our 2009 episode. That's episode number 15. Talk about Backwards Bob for at least 10 minutes. So go back to that. This is re-release number 7. So keep your track at home. Number 7. Next truck is actually Dragon's Breath number 48. If you want to pivot to that, that's re-release number 8 for the year. So we get back-to-back re-releases.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool how they're able to number these trucks together since they did debut together. Now, Dragon's Breath doesn't run till 2011, so not quite the mark here. And actually, Backwards Bob isn't even running in 2010, is it, huh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so none of these trucks are even running in 2010. So, but we get toys of them again. We went this far to make the molds, and that picture of the Dragon's Breath should be. It was the same one that they used in 2009, but I'm pretty sure that's like the only good picture anybody took from the Encore before Terry Porter rolled Spitfire, and then he just photoshopped the name.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to complain about these two. I have both these still in package today because they were Encore trucks, and I just like Encores, so I didn't mind it.
Encore.
Really cool flag though. If you look at the back there, some Neil Vandenberg art. So 48 and then 49. Is this new? I feel like we talked about it. I maybe mentioned it in the past. Spectre Flame Predator. So another Spectre Flame edition on an independent body. Again, we've talked about this many times. The black Spectre Flames tend to not be as like eye-catching as like the pink, or actually there's no pink. The yellow. The greens and stuff. So this is a little subtle as a Spectre Flame, but it is a really cool charcoal color in certain lighting. If you can get it in a good lighting, you can see in this kind of good picture of it. So lots of surface area on a Predator to actually see that color. The other black Spectre Flame paint trucks that we've have had decal wraps mostly on all surfaces. So it's a really good one to have a good look at the Spectre Flame charcoal chrome, as I call it, color. But again, I'll leave that to Phil now for Predator.
I mean, I like it. That was my favorite Predator. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a new one. It's a new Spectre Flame. Are these a different logo pattern on this?
This is the new one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, did you just mention that, or am I just going blind?
No, I didn't mention it.
Okay, yeah. So this is actually a different design for Predator.
Oh.
The other ones were like I think Hot Wheels probably did design it with their scheme. It's hard to tell now. I think the next year we do get a regular Predator, so it's much easier to see. Or Predator in some capacity where it's easier to see. But the flame patterns are there now instead. It's just a different design pattern. But it's still subtle enough to where you really don't notice it from the other Predators. So obviously this one doesn't have like a blue chassis. So Spectre Flame wise, it's on par with some of the other black-based Spectre Flame trucks. But I actually do like this one better because I think it pops better with the purple. I think it adds a little bit more, and especially knowing that the decals are updated. That just a little extra touch that I think goes a long way. And this is a winner Spectre Flame.
Looking back at it and just looking at it on these rims makes me kind of miss the cat. And seeing as the cat is at a Hot Wheels drive-through, might be a mold they could throw back on a new line truck. It would be a fan favorite. I did like this truck back then though, and still wondering when we gonna see another Predator.
Yeah. We bring back the Predator, Pizzo, somewhere. Well, Pizzo, okay, I shouldn't say that. Al Pizzo still runs.
Yeah, he's still running it. That's what I mean. It's at a Hot Wheels driving through thing at an amusement park. So, I mean,
don't say that, Phil. Predator runs.
All right. So next is this very popular truck that recently came out for the line, the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. There is actually a graphic update to this truck, and we'll see another version of it without the mud in the future, but you can see it doesn't say Into the Blue anymore on the side. They took that off for whatever reason, but now it just has that fighter jet with the streak behind it. And then we have the mud pattern, very subtle on this one, very bright. It actually matches the tire paint very well on here. A little bit on the tailgate, a little bit on the hood, but not much else. Oh, a little bit on the roof too. But that's about it. They didn't really touch it much. I think it's because they didn't want to cover that logo or the actual licensing from the U.S. government too much. So makes sense. But yeah, there it is. The U.S. Air Force Afterburner also comes with a really cool flag with the logos. So there's that. Phil, go ahead.
Yeah, and again, these are where it's possible. These are all accurate flags. If you've ever been to the Monster Jam World Finals in Las Vegas, they would used to fly flags all around Sam Boyd Stadium. And for the trucks that did apply that were in the toy line, they took those same designs and made them the cloth flag. So that was a real extra plus because fans legit did see this Air Force flag or that Gravedigger flag, that Maximum Destruction flag at Sam Boyd Stadium. Now they have a toy version. So that was always cool. Just a quick sidebar from the last episode. But yeah, Air Force, we talked about in depth also with the 2009 episode. That was such a big deal for it to come out. Nice to get it again here. Obviously, you want to milk it as much as you can, but we get it as a mud truck. I think it's a welcome edition. By no means is this stealing the show for the year, but again, it goes back to that same theory that I always try to want the toy companies to live by. You make a new truck first, and then the next year you do it as a mud truck or a Spectre Flame and so on. So Air Force Afterburner fits that to a T for 2010, and it's a welcome mud truck.
Yeah, it for people who don't take their trucks outside, this was perfect for your carpet leagues. Made it more realistic. So for the inside carpet leagues, this one was nice. I liked it and loved the flag it came with it.
Yeah, so there it is on number 50 of 75. 25 more to go. Whoops, I went down a little bit. So next up is the next repeat truck, which is the Rap Attack. We've talked about it a lot. You can see there's the real life picture. So basically, you're just getting a new flag, or if you haven't found this truck, you're getting a new truck. But yeah, there it is, Rap Attack. I don't.
So looking, let's to run you over here. I see. So this is re-release number 9 for the year, and looking back at the original checklist that was provided before the year started, this was it was labeled by the Hot Wheels team as a Monster Jam Classics. So obviously it's not a classic, but obviously that means that there's probably plans for maybe that same half and half scheme that we saw from 2005, or maybe I think there was a scheme before that was like it was like all purple maybe.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was all purple. And then there was a purple scheme with the checkered flags down the side with yellow hubs, I believe.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So just kind of based on looking on this re-release, this really does seem like it's out of it doesn't fit in with the rest of 2010. The re-releases you do see in 2010 aren't like the Screaming Demons of the world. It's more so trucks like that came out in previous years, 2009. So that are like brand new. So definitely something I don't know if I ever realized that this was labeled as classics on the original checklist. So looks like a missed opportunity for people asking about trucks that never came out. I guess we were supposed to get a different Rap Attack than this. Which is a shame.
Yeah, that sucks. Kind of. That's disappointing to know that now. But yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
So there it is, 51. Next repeat, number 9, and then a brand new one right here. I'm sure everyone was excited.
Yeah.
As I was back in the day when we first got this. This was the Scuba scheme for Avenger, which has still been run to this sometimes by Jim. I believe it's at the beach shows. He runs it. And we will see this again for whatever reason. Is it 2017 or 2018?
Final year, I believe.
Yeah, I think like you said, the last year, so 2018 of Hot Wheels Monster Jam. It'll return. But yeah, here it is, the first run of it. The changes that take place from this one to 2018 are very subtle. Changes in the Monster Jam logo, a couple sponsors maybe. But the scheme never changes in terms of graphics or anything else. This really is a recreation, or maybe it's just the original artwork of the Avenger. The real life one has a little bit of different details. There's a Jim Kohler surfing on one of the waves on it. So it's just kind of notes for maybe a future release by Spin if they're ever going to do the airbrush design of it. Just a couple other subtle things that Hot Wheels didn't pick up on, but it was a really cool one to see. So if we zoom in a little bit, you can see they have the window print, which is really nice. Monster Jam logo, Lucas Oil. For whatever reason, the graphics for this was always blurry, even though they were decals, waterside decals. So you can see there's a bit of fuzziness in the graphics. I don't know if it was the original layout they were using from Jim Kohler, or if it was just their own graphics, which probably wouldn't happen if it was theirs. But one of those two is probably the case. But you can see there's all the sponsors. And there also is an Avenger Scuba flag with it, which is really cool. So limited time. And they also got the correct logo on their packaging. So part of the World Final Series. And with that said, Phil will tell you the rest about this.
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering, looking back on the graphics, this may have been something like the original E-Sheet graphics that Kohler had or something, and just sent them over instead of like pictures and stuff. Because just be kind of a nitpicker here. Looking at the regular Scuba Avenger, the skull is the same size as the Avenger logo, and on our toy here, it's not. So it makes it seem like the skull's either too small or the name Avenger's too big. And then you did mention that blur on all the roof stuff, that Lucas Oil logo, and that Avenger on the hood. Lucas Oil logo is real noticeable. How it's just seems like it was made with a watercolor paint. So I don't know what happened there. Always cool to see little pinpoints of the decals on the windshields there. So you have the AvengersRacings.coms, and the Michigan Monster Truck logo is that little tire on the back window. I don't know if anyone knew that. Michigan Monster Trucks, for your big brain nerd people out there, is something that Elliot Miller created many years ago. And if you guys know the name Elliot Miller, he is now the promoter of Monster Truck Throwdown, and obviously the owner and driver is Sinistar. So that's some old school Elliot Miller on the truck there.
It's cool.
Yeah, it should be right. If I'm wrong, I'm going to get yelled at.
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. I love that logo, so I should know that. But
yeah, that's I think that appeared on a couple other of the Avengers over the years. But yeah, the blue one I think has been one of the more popular Avengers schemes because everybody knows Jim Kohler likes to jump in water any chance he gets, and I think just in real life, this has always been a popular World Finals body. It's seen life out of the World Finals. It's ran anytime Jim Kohler runs Virginia Beach, or I don't know if he's ever done Wildwood, but if he did, yeah. Any of the shows near water, Kohler will bust out the blue Avenger body. It's still intact. If anyone remembers that original World Finals 10 freestyle, he rolled over after one hit. So the body's not in pieces, so he's still able to run it after all these years. And who knows, maybe a good chance he can run it again in the future if he gets back to the beach or at somebody's other events that he's looking to change it up a little bit. So I always love the blue Scuba Avenger, and it's great to have it here as a toy.
Yeah, I mean it's arguably my favorite. I mean the candy apple red one's pretty nice too, but I love the Scuba one, and I love seeing it here.
Yeah, in a future discussion, a long time from now, my favorite one, which is the junkyard one, will come up. But I do love the blue one. It's always stands out amongst the Avengers. Just the blue and the green contrast between the actual green and the blue is just a massive change. I feel like orange fits well with the logo color. Red also kind of fits well with the logo color, but this one's like completely different. Kind of similar to when he did the white paint scheme and the purple. Just a drastic change, and this one especially just is super cool. So there it is, the Avenger, the Scuba Avenger from World Finals. Sorry, what was it? World Finals? Which one was this?
World Finals 10, 2009.
Okay, so right after they're coming out with this, so that's really cool.
You know, I think it made that scheme more iconic just to run over again is because the previous two World Final schemes he ran were just different shades of green. So yeah, I think I made fans that are like, "Whoa, he's back to with the crazy colors." Yeah. So.
And the debut of a brand new truck in the Hot Wheels Monster Jam era, which we will see up until like 2015, I think. Bad Habit. So Joe Sylvester, which is now back again as Bad Habit Relapse, also coming back in Spin Master in 2022, as Joey just recently announced. So yeah, Bad Habit. Here's the first, or one of the first schemes. For whatever reason, Mattel did this kind of like bright, almost yellowish orange when the truck was this dark orange and purple. So I don't know why they did it this way. I also noticed this is actually a decal, this orange, so that could be another reason why. But it just, the flag and the truck's own paint scheme don't agree with each other, which is not a good thing. But yeah, they did do an interesting job with this. You can see either they were trying to mask off the bottom and do a split scheme, or they just decided it wasn't going to work out and they just decided to wrap it with orange. But you can see the unevenness of that the paint where they actually put tape over it. So, you know, it's odd. They did paint the front grille with that similar color paint, but if we look again, when I scroll back up here, you'll see the differences between the decal and the actual paint color. It's just not orange, and I'm not sure why. Orange seems like a pretty easy color to find for your vehicles, but anyway, it did come out this way. But it's still nice to have Bad Habit in this format, and Sylvester Construction logo on there too. So I'm sure Phil can tell you more about Bad Habit.
Man, this is a big deal. So obviously, this is really right before Joe Sylvester makes like the world records and the showdowns and everything, and it really becomes a bigger star than he is now. But it was really cool to see because it was an independent that was not being represented. It gets a toy here, so thumbs up across the board there. Pretty interesting story about there's a decal. There's this hard luck on the truck. Such a wild story with that. Well, my buddy's out here in Arizona, Frank Ramirez, big Mongo there. If anyone sees Frank out at the events, we love him. God, he'll tell the story, but he hard luck was like some sticker like he ran on his like mud truck, and he gave it to Joe Sylvester, just kind of like, hey man, it's hard luck out there or on the truck, and Joe stuck it on the truck. And just for whatever reason, that was like the picture that Joe sent in the Hot Wheels, or like, yeah, this is my truck. And sure enough, it was one that said hard luck on it. So old Frank got his decal on a toy inadvertently. It's like imagine if Brian Patton, our buddy BZP, got the bad news, his logo on Bad News without actually having to sign paperwork. It was just based off of pictures. It's like, all right, yep, here you go. And it's like, whoa, that's my logo. That's pretty much what how hard luck got on the truck. It was just a random chance sticker Joe stuck on his truck for one weekend, and it made it onto a toy.
Cool.
Yeah,
RJ?
it was cool to see the truck, especially any independent, be made in this good of detail, minus the color. That always got to me. But I loved seeing it back then. It's 2010. Thumbs up.
Yeah, and as you switch to the next truck, another comment about that Scuba Avenger. I talked about it a little bit in the last episode. How the case, the trucks kind of got mixed around the cases a little bit based off of like Time Flies' late delay in the line. I just want to mention that because Avenger was a big one where Avenger's number 52, but it comes out in the E case. So like everyone's getting Blue Avenger really early on, where it probably should have came out in the later part of the year based off of the package number. Just quick sidebar on that.
Yeah. They still do that often in recent years with Hot Wheels monster trucks. Like there's a Megarex at 64 in case D. So, they go back and forth. For whatever reason they do that, they have always, at least sometimes, done that. So next up is another Spectra Flame, another blue Spectra Flame. This one's actually way more noticeable because the decals kind of contrasted so well. This is the Stone Crusher. We've went into great detail about Stone Crusher when it first was announced, and now it's back again as a Spectra Flame. We will see this happen again. I think it's next year, where it has this really cool variant where they actually paint the beat block color instead of red. They make it blue, which I don't think any other Spectra Flames besides the Gravedigger 30th anniversary bodies have differentiated beat lock colors to match the truck's Spectra Flame color. So for whatever reason they did that, they do have that variant coming up. It tends to be a rare variant. If I recall correctly, it's a Superstore variant or some kind of thing like that. So we'll talk about that in the future, but this is the first version of Stone Crusher, so you can see that nice candy blue color there for this truck. So since we have talked about Stone Crusher so much, probably limit our time on this, but Phil can start with that.
Yeah, no, another one that deserves a Spectra Flame. It's the third year we get a Stone Crusher toy, and the previous two were just regular Stone Crushers. So it makes sense to have one here. It does pop a little better with the blue, but those bead locks with the red, this is another one where it really makes the truck pop. It was an added feature for 2009. We saw it there, but it really makes it more pop here with some of these 2010s. So not much to talk about with these Spectra Flames on some of them, but another solid one to have here with Stone Crusher.
Yeah, another solid one. I believe the real truck at this time is running red beads, so it made it more realistic. I could be wrong. It could have been black beads. But I like the blue bead rimmed one more than this one, but I do enjoy this one, and it was good to see.
Yeah, that is a good point, RJ, because the truck does, at least when they have that second Stone Crusher running, which I think kicks off in 2011 with Darren Miguez, I think.
11 or 12, yeah.
Yeah, 11. I was thinking maybe 10 it snuck in, but definitely that second Stone Crusher had red
11.
beads. So good call there. Maybe it was because of the toy. You liked it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then number 55 is the return of King Crunch. So this is the muddy edition. Very subtle. You can't really tell that there's any mud on here, but here it is. There's some on the tailgate. But other than that, very light. You can see the disagreement here with the decal color blue to the blue color of the truck, but they did do a lot on the roof there. So there's the King Crunch. There are two versions listed here. With Brian, he was collecting heavy mud. So I guess the sidewall mud here, which is a variant that I and also Phil don't, and maybe RJ too, don't really believe in as much. It could just be an error. But Brian, you'll see in the futures especially, he'll start listing them as heavy mud and light mud. But regardless of that, it's not like the most important variant in the world. So there's King Crunch, and I'll let Phil open that discussion back up.
Yeah, I don't believe in those different mud stuff. I think it's just somebody got excited with the computer. But those are needed variants because they changed the flags. I don't know why they did. Yeah, it says Mud V1, V2. Yes, because of the flags. Oh. So they changed the flags for some point.
Yeah.
That's why the change is there. And I don't know why. Okay, I can guess why. So that classic, the World Finals King Crunch that we get earlier on has the same flag as the version 1 mud truck. So I'm thinking maybe just to kind of differentiate the flags that they went back and they redid the next time it went around the cases, this second version. So, I mean, by the time this one came out, it's like everybody bought the first one. So everybody had like 2 of the same King Crunch flags. So, but for the variant collectors, and it was much needed too. And I know for some of the flag completionists that this one can be a little difficult because it was the second wave of that versus the first one that you had 2 chances to get. So there's more of the first version of that flag than the second one. So yeah, but the truck itself, it's mud trucks. Just put mud on the truck and put it in the box. It's not on a all light blue chassis, so that's a new change. None of the mud trucks have colored chassis, huh?
I don't think so.
Kick off.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Gravedigger, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of them. That's kind of interesting too, because I think there was a couple others where they're technically variants because, or like they changed the chassis colors just because of the mud. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to be said about it. It's a mud truck.
And I do want to note with this black roll cage, we'll get that rare variation of King Crunch next year in the Tattoo Series 2011 with the black roll cage. So that's going to be a tough one to find, and we'll talk about that in a little while next week, March 1st. So next up, 56, another Jack Caberna single-time release truck. This is Tough Enough, returning after a long time off the series. I believe the last time we saw it was a small hub, I want to say. So this is a very plain truck, yellow.
Well, we get the weird teal one in 2007.
Oh, that was a Tough Enough, that's right. And also the really rare variation, which is a plastic base. But this Tough Enough, very basic. I mean, it's as basic as you can start here or go here with the yellow, a logo, like a small window, and the Jack Caberna logo and the other basics there. Part of the Monster Jam Classics, so I'm assuming Phil's about to tell you the story of this plain yellow Tough Enough, but it does definitely fit since they're doing such plain ideas in the classics. That Rap Attack, as we just talked about, probably was going to be that pretty basic purple body, but there it is, 2 Jack Caberna logos, and Phil can fill you in on the yellow Tough Enough.
I can. So let me just say the next truck we're talking about is also a Caberna truck, so I'll bumble in before we move on to the next truck that I think it's pretty cool that, this is the last time we're getting a Jack Caberna's trucks, and if you guys have heard so many discussions where Jack, a lot of his trucks are one-time shots, so but he was able to get so many of his different schemes out there, so that's really cool, and these classics were a great opportunity. However, maybe one of the older folk in the crowd here tonight can help me. I don't ever remember Tough Enough looking like this. I'm looking through pictures. I don't see the Tough Enough that this is supposed to be off of. I think this is supposed to be based off of Pablo Cruz's Tough Enough, which was like the original Tough Enough. And then they took liberty to change the paint scheme from red to yellow, which then is kind of like a cross of like Jack Caberna's first Tough Enough that ran with actually Remco decals. And so actually there were supposed to be Remco toys of Jack Caberna's trucks in the early 2000s. I'm sure we'll talk about at some point on some weird episode. But yeah, if any of the older folk in the crowd that can help old Phil here, because I don't ever remember Jack Caberna running this old school design. I mean, if you kind of look at old photos of the red Tough Enough, it does look very similar to Pablo Cruz's with the text.
Phil, I want to cut you off for 1 minute. We actually have a special guest watching us tonight. Brian Patton himself is here. Hi, Brian. Nice to have you in here. Banking off of the heavy and light mud variations. He doesn't believe in either. So the man himself doesn't believe in them. So
it was a flag. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Phil. Continue on your.
Yeah. No. And then I see some folks in the comments like, well, there's the current Tough Enough that's yellow. It's like, yeah, I know. Like I've been around Jack Caberna enough to know what his trucks look like. I don't know if any of the old contingent in here from like before majority of the people that are listening were born.
I feel like that's what it is.
Was yellow. As I don't think it was. And if it was very quick.
I believe that's what this paint scheme was. Made after the red one, the original one, Pablo Cruz one, and they just slapped yellow on there. I don't know. I should ask Jack about this when I had him autograph it.
Yeah, like it looks similar to this Tough Enough.
Yeah,
except to like the little Bandito characters, not. there. But you have a photo of it. Save the snack. Well, Save the Stack needs to DM that to me on Instagram.
Yeah, I want to see that.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right. So
It ain't this one. If you're thinking this, you're not right. It ain't this.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Not even close.
Not even close.
But if you help Phil, send a DM.
All
I
right. So
believe that's what it's based off of, though.
yeah, there's the mysterious Tough Enough. I thought there actually would be
Well, I
more.
like it. Like, again,
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Just now looking back at it, it's like, what was this supposed to be?
Yeah, it's very plain, very basic, but a one-time release. So there's your chance to get that one. And then, like you said, the last and next Jack Cabrera truck, another Cyborg. So we talked about last episode, I believe it was, or an episode before that, the black and white Cyborg.
Yeah, it was 2008. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I broke him.
Scheme here.
There you go.
There, I was looking for the Jack Cabrera logo. So there's Jack Cabrera logo. And
We were looking for you, son. You stopped talking for 10 seconds.
oh, did I stop talking?
Yeah, but it's good.
I'll start again. My Wi-Fi must be bad right now. I was saying this is the last Jack Cabrera truck, another Cyborg. Last year, I believe, or the year before, we got the black and white one, which was inherently rare and kind of still is rare. You actually see that same Cyborg scheme as the flag. Not sure why they did it that way. But Phil, tell us all about this maroon Cyborg.
Dude, this rules. This was like Cabrera's like first Cyborg. It was all red. It's actually double-sided different graphics on each side. So on their side, it's a small Cyborg name, and on the other side, it's Cyborg's big text. That's exactly what it was on the real truck. What a crazy callback! Now the other one was like a Dodge body. It was like a totally different looking body style, but for obviously what you're working with, this is the right tool to use. The flag that's packed in actually does match with that 2008 truck. It's not a red flag, which is kind of funny. How so maybe they were thinking on a different Cyborg for some weird reason, but this one's cool, man. I mean, when Cyborg was announced for all this stuff, I very much doubt that anybody would have expected this to pop up. So right on that for there, my man. Save the Snack. Ah, yeah. Save the Snack wins the day. Aha. So this is the Tough Enough. I'm silly.
No.
Let me get you there.
Yeah. Save the Snack, save the day here.
Oh.
It's hard to see. It does have white text. This is I the second he sent this, I've seen this picture, but it was not registering. So obviously not run for a long time, but probably his first Tough Enough that he had on that part. So good call. Save the Snack, save the day.
Thank you.
If I had money, I'd give it to you.
All right, RJ.
I love this red one. Going back to the original truck, that was a Dodge body, I believe. Very cool. And like Phil said, when you see Cyborg Classic listed, you're thinking probably a green re-release with on big hubs redone, and you get the original one. It was so cool seeing it.
Yeah. Again, I just wish the flag would have matched. I just feel like it's out of place sitting in there. But like the World Finals King Crunch, similar thing with the schemes didn't match the flag. But there's the Cyborg. So the last Jack Cabrera truck, we've talked about him so much in the last time of our podcast. So sad to see his trucks go in the series, but there's the last one.
He's a Monster Truck Hall of Famer, kids.
Yes,
Look
sir.
him up.
Yes,
Icon.
sir.
A crazy man. Built a gravedigger. He's incredible.
And number 58, the return of Gunslinger. We did talk about this extensively. The meaning behind the scheme, the way the bullet casings had the cities he was performing in on them. Same schemes back. They did not add the additional cities on for this scheme, but they do have the flag in there. So if you want a Gunslinger flag, go ahead and grab it. So yeah, just a great truck. Since we've already talked about it, unless Phil wants to add anything else, I don't really think that.
Yeah, no, it's an accurate flag to what waved at Vegas because he did make World Finals in 2010. But this is re-release number 10, and this is number 58. So 48 new trucks. I mean, they're
Crazy.
Man, that's insane.
And as referenced last time when we got that 3D shocker for the final time around, this is finally, at the time at least, the new shocker design. So it's finally no longer 3D, which it hadn't been for many years up to the point that they kept releasing it. So shocker with what we would now call inspired by, or what would be inspired by the Shark Shock and V8 Bomber, those kinds of things. The World War II shark plane style artwork. So you can see they got that mouth there, the eyeball. And then a camo theme, still got some lightning going on in it. They tend to do this with their trucks. They add the window, even though the body kind of has that extension, so you can see the disagreement between the casting and the real life truck. If they didn't have that wing or the extension here, it would be a pretty accurate casting to the Shocker body. And also, if you notice, I'm not sure why, because I'm looking at the truck's grill here and it's not blue, but the base coat of it's like a teal or blue. No idea why that would be, but it is. It should have been like this kind of mucky green, but there's the teal blue color they chose to run with it. There's a tailgate. The front grille, definitely not supposed to be there, or at least the color. And then a very blurry camo. They definitely zoomed the scheme in to fill the roof in. They took off in Photoshop, they probably shut off the layers, zoomed it in, and then put it. You can also see where they disagree on the roof and side panel placements. Just now looking back at it, kind of a messy layout for it. And then there's the hood. Blue roll cage, which if I look back, is still accurate, which is good. And then chrome rims as they started to run with, and a nice Shocker flag. But looking back now, it's just like a little bit of a mashed together piece here. And Phil, please tell us all about the new Shocker.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I was going to go with this. I always thought that teal base for this truck was so weird. I mean, again, nobody's going to complain here because, and there's Slinger. Nobody's going to complain that because you're getting a new Shocker. But man, that color is always goofy. And like you look at the tailgate. The tailgate's like,
it's like what's going on here?
It's not stretched enough. It's like the slap, and then you look at the roof, and it's just ultra zoomed in. So like execution was like they had to hit a deadline on this. It's like, oh, we're not ready, and then it's like,
slam it on there.
It's done. It's like it's not, but okay. But actually pretty interesting if you want to zoom in on that side of the truck. It looks as if there's a phone number on there for the Packer business there. And we've talked about, many episodes ago when we were talking about the wild hairs, I'm pretty sure. Phone numbers are always a big no-no on some of these toys. Just because they don't want like children calling the businesses. Like I saw your name on a toy, like call me. And I was like, a recent example was the phone number variant for Bounty Hunter from Spin Master. So actually pretty interesting here. And the Hot Wheels was living that same model too. That's why there was a variant on like the wild hairs and stuff. So but no, Shocker gets his phone number in here. I'm sure the amount Pat Gerber had a relationship with Hot Wheels that he was able to get away with it. But nonetheless, again, guys, it's so cool to have a new Shocker. You're not complaining in 2010. We're complaining now, but you were not complaining then. This thing rules, and it still rules.
Yep. Phil said all I was going to say, so.
All right, cool. So there's Shocker. New truck, not the best one now looking back at it, but it's very cool to have an updated design. I believe this is the first Shock Therapy because I've seen it so many times. Is this the first time we're seeing this, Phil?
Big time. Yeah.
This one's gonna in the future have a very rare variation as well, so it's important to remember this one. So Amsoil Shock Therapy debuting in the singles this year. Great graphics because it actually did get a couple clear graphics releases, so you can actually see the detail in it. For whatever reason, the Amsoil, which is part of the actual name when we address this truck, unless you call it its nickname, which is just Shock Therapy, is not on the actual insert or placard or whatever you want to call it here. So just call it Shock Therapy on the this release, at least. I think in the future they will do that. They have the flag. They have the truck picture. I think it would have been served well with either red rims or white rims, but they ran with chrome. And there's the tailgate there, and really cool headlight painted in. And then we have the roof. So Phil, tell us all about this truck because I know.
Man, this was a top truck 2010 right here, because like this time frame is the John Zimmer coming out party.
Yeah,
this is when John Zimmer's a longtime veteran of the sport, but guys, this is when John Zimmer was like starting to get that cult following, and people were rallying for John, and he made the World Finals that year in 2010, right, in Shock Therapy for the first time, and that was a massive deal. Like it was like the internet won on that one. You got Shock Therapy in the World Finals. Like that was a big deal, guys, back then. Now I know John Zimmer's like, oh, he's the Dragon guy, and like so it's like no, like it's good to grave digger. It's like, man, he was a sudden impact racing for that good chunk of time, and this is like when Zimmer people knew Zimmer was good, but then it's like when he got in that Shock Therapy, it was off to the races. And so this toy, perfect timing. Like it is such a big deal to have this shock therapy right now. It was like it was like the top independent in the game at the time. Yeah. It was a huge deal. Sidebars. When I got my shock therapy from this year, actually the window. Cool. The window alignment is the window is like not attached to like the screw in the front, but it's in there. So it's attached, but it's not. And I know Ryan was alluding to the rare shock therapy that comes out many years later. But folks, as much as we are excited for Amsoil shock therapy, I have unfortunate news to share to all of you that past 2010, shock therapy is a peg warmer. It's like nobody wants shock therapy no more. And then they update the scheme a little bit where they add that red. No, you never get that from Hot Wheels. So we're just stuck with peg warming shock therapy. But man, the hype was unbelievable for 2010.
That first release hype was real. I remember Studio. I remember seeing this on the aisle and flipping out again. Like Phil said, top independent to get. That's when John was starting to make people take notice. And great truck.
Yeah, and like Phil said, it does become a peg warmer, but it gets its own redemption when it becomes one of the rarest variations out there for Hot Wheels Monster Jam. We'll talk about that in 2015's episode, but it comes back with a vengeance for that peg warming time. But an awesome truck. Shout out to my friend out there, John, who loves the shock therapy truck. I'm sure he'll hear this. So he loves shock therapy, but it does become peg warmer for most people. It's remembered as such, but by collectors, remembered as a really rare truck later on. So back again is the Torque or Q Torque Power Iron Outlaw. So it's back again for its second release. This is a World Final scheme they tossed in here. If what you want to say something?
No, I was just saying Quaker State Oil is what the
sponsor. Yeah, sorry. I couldn't remember what it was. I saw the Q and I was like, I don't remember. Brian's unfortunately has a little bit of a paint chip or graphics chip in the decal, but no worries because there was one for it. I feel like this was kind of a little bit of a wasted spot for the World Finals series. If I got to be honest, because we did get it the year before. If this was the first time release of it, I'd be totally fine and not say that. But, I feel like maybe they could have fit something else in here. However, you do get a really cool flag with it, so that does make up for it. It did attend the World Finals. It did have that flag. I'll let Phil correct me if it's wrong, but I think it had that flag flying above the stadium.
Oh, you know what? No, I didn't because those detailed flags didn't exist in 2008. They were just stitched flags on cloth that just said like the truck name.
Well, you get an imaginary World Finals flag for your own hat.
Yeah, I like the flag. It's hanging in my garage. It's one of my favorite Iron Outlaw flags. So
yeah.
And, the next three trucks are re-releases 11, 12, and 13. Just to say, but this one's warranted because it gives fans another chance to get that custom Escalade.
Yep.
It is also nice that they, even in the second release of it, did still do the grille detail, the headlight detail, so that's really cool. The one thing, this is just a continuity thing that I always notice, this year they didn't do the golden outlaw on the placard, but, it's not. Most people are going to repack and throw it away, so it doesn't really matter.
It has a pretty interesting, like, a little tampo mess up in that top corner. But I always thought that was interesting because my Iron Outlaw also from 2009 has like a whole bunch of paint bubbles. So it must have been something with those Iron Outlaws.
And here's the return of Superman, or I guess I shouldn't say return, just the repeat of Superman. However, finally they're giving it something different, I believe. Are these new? Are these stripes new?
No, the stripes aren't new, but actually I technically lied. This isn't a re-release because I think this is the first time they put the copyright underneath the name, right? I don't know. It's so minor. I can't see it there. More. Can you zoom in? I'm old.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, there you go.
Okay, I see the TMC DC, but is there something next to that?
Yeah, I can't read it though. It's too tiny.
I think it's the copyright, Phil.
Yeah, I guess. So I know because after a certain point they add that all the wordy stuff on there.
Yeah.
So maybe that is new.
The flag was cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say the flag, another edition.
Okay, yeah, that is. We'll zoom in on it later in the episode. I don't remember the copyright being that big, so that actually is something new.
Okay. Yeah, I did pick this up for the flag. I really like the Superman flag. So other than that, the truck itself might be a minor variation depending on what Phil can pick up. Brutus. So Brutus is back again. This is
I'm a liar.
another returning independent, same design. Okay, so it's nothing new then. If you want a flag, though, there's your chance. So Brutus, basically the only new thing is the flag. They're still running this kind of bright maroon color when the truck is actually this like dark bronze-ish color. Fun fact for this one, I actually have an Air El Toro Loco that has a Brutus flag inside of it, or vice versa. I have a Brutus with an El Toro Loco flag. I spotted it at Target one year, and I bought it. My dad's like, "You're crazy. That's not an El Toro Loco flag." When we got it home, I showed him the flags, and he goes, "Oh, okay, it is." So that's one of the trucks I have. One of my very few.
I got a moderator in here.
Yep, Phil, go ahead and pull us, and I'll fix them.
Wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. So Brutus is cool. Flag's cool. Next year, Brutus gets a new some love, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get it for the flag mainly. That's what I did.
Don't be a mother goose in our chat. We read everything, and like, there's no sneakies either. No, you don't have to block him. I just don't want that.
I have no choice but to. They don't give me a choice.
I'm sorry, Marshmallow.
Anyway, there's Brutus. I'll unblock him after the stream because
not just him. There's other weasels in there like talking in code. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Next up is Storm Damage. I feel like, is this the first time we're seeing Storm Damage in this?
Yeah, brand new truck.
Okay, another new truck. We will see future Storm Damage, so I get all mixed up. But Storm Damage, another pretty basic scheme. Another one where they just can't get orange right. I'm not sure what's going on in Hot Wheels 2010, but orange is just not a color they like. So they give us this like weird color, and same with the paint too. So decal and paint, they just can't get an orange. But it sucks because the flag disagreement is just so strong with Bad Habit and Storm Damage. Like you can see the orange difference, you can see the truck picture. But I can see a little decal here. So, Phil, if you want to tell us all about Storm Damage in this scheme, go ahead.
Man, Tim Mente, this is not his first Storm Damage. It was a weird red one. He ran for like 2 seconds. But, like, this is cool to have. It was another independent where, okay, like, Storm Damage isn't a bigger name independent as it is now with, like, Hurricane Force, Steve Thompson. So, but it was really cool to have here. Around this time, the truck has that really wild Steel Skins graphics design that never gets made into a toy. So people are like, oh, is that like the one that's coming? It's like, nah. But you get this one, and it's representation. I don't remember this peg warming, although it is very much a scheme that kind of screams peg warmer. But for some reason, it never does. Again, another independent that maybe you weren't going like I desperately need, but you got it and you accepted it, you bought it, and it was in the Carpet League. So hats off there. I can't see what that decal says. Make Mike.
It says money can't something. If anyone has that quote,
Tim's active in our group. Somebody just asked Tim Mente in a post.
It says something about money. RJ, any thoughts on this Storm Damage?
I liked it. It's at the time running a Taurus 3 chassis, so like in history, I picked it up knowing that, and to put it in the Carpet League, even though it's got a rear engine in the diecast, still liked it, and I like the flag that came with it.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one, at least none that I've seen, has taken this and modified onto the Spin Master Willman, but there's something for our customizers if they're watching a front engine change. So there's Storm Damage. And the return of the bright blue Drask Attack. Nothing new about it, to my knowledge. However, the flag is really cool. So we'll just keep going. Another repeat.
Re-release number 14. They piled in those re-releases at the end, but still, it's not a lot.
This one was
nice. And you're actually getting most of them, like you said, at the end of the actual year. Most of the new ones are actually coming out in the case.
I need a break after all that money I spent at the beginning.
Yeah. Black Stallion, this is a really cool scheme. So this is a World Finals scheme.
Before you'd say that,
okay,
my man Savage One in the comments here. Mike says money can't grow on trees. This is what it says on there. And I guarantee that Mike is Mike Vaughters. That's gotta be. That's funny. Then speaking of Mike Vaughters, we were talking about.
So Mike Vaughters himself, right back here in the saddle for the Black Stallion.
It says who? I'm sorry, I'm going to run you over again. It actually says who says money can't grow on trees. But I like Tyler's response better, Brian. Funnier. Okay, no more steamrolls. Back to what you're talking about.
Okay, Black Stallion. So this is a really cool World Final scheme. Actually, one of the coolest ones ever to be released. So at the Pit Party World Finals, something Phil will tell you, I'm sure. He had his fans actually like outline their hands with a marker and then sign their name inside of it. Of course, none of these signatures are actually real ones, but they recreated the artwork to mimic that, and I just thought it was so awesome. On top of that, you'll see that they stopped blocking these important logos underneath things. So on top of those, they have the Monster logo, Hot Wheels logo, Black Stallion logo, the badge. I'm sure RJ's, I can't see him right now, but I'm sure he's cheering for that. And then a couple other sponsors. The only thing that's covered that you can't read that's actually lettering is Michael Waters' name. But yeah, it's just a really cool scheme. Everything else is the same about the Black Stallion, but I absolutely, when I first got this truck, I was like, what is that? And then I saw it on the World Finals DVD that he had those fans sign and outline their hands. I just thought it was such an awesome revamp of that idea. So Phil, tell us what World Finals if you know, and everything else.
And they're still debating about that storm damage in there, but yeah, okay. So this is a pretty cool scheme. You know what's the only unfortunate part about like this for future? That this is like the base Black Stallion scheme for so many years from Hot Wheels, and it's very disheartening. Like Black Stallion does not look like this anymore. It's like, yeah, we got the World Finals scheme, but we don't need it no more. But anywho, back to 2010. Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, this is not one people thought, because if you guys remember that from that World Finals, he ran those crazy tires, sidewalls, yellows everywhere.
Yellow painted sidewalls.
That technology did not exist in 2010, so they got yellow rims instead. But that's what people are like, nah, they can never do that, because half the fun was the tires. But no, we get it, and we get these hands here. Obviously, you're not going to get every little Tommy and Timmy that wrote their hand on there, but you have some good recreations, and this is pretty fun. I think it's very creative. I don't think anybody was really thinking about this when you're to make a World Finals line, or even like a classic. Like this is one, because I think anyone, if you're going to say a classic Black Stallion, even today, I think people will be looking for a Black Stallion 2000.
Yep.
But you get this one instead. Yeah, you get this here with the World Finals line, and it's a nice surprise, and everybody really got a kick out of this.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on that year's World Finals, which I believe was on Speed, and then getting it all these years later. I thought it was cool. Liked it. Of course, the badge is on there, so you love to see that. But no yellow wheels, but at that time that that you can't do that.
They even have a Mike Moser shout out on here.
Let me grab that image. So Tyler was arguing with Brian in the comments about what it says on storm damage. He just grabbed us a HD image. Thank you, Brian. I'll pull it up, and we'll see who was right in just a moment. Let me switch tabs here. So it does not say Mike says money can't grow on trees. It definitely says who says money can't grow on trees. But we appreciate it.
Why looks like it says trust?
Oh, trust. What?
Toast.
Whatever. It says who, at least at the beginning. So thank you for the input, though.
And if it's about trees, folks, Tim Mente, his side hustle is a landscaping business. So that's a figure of speech that goes a long ways in tree land. So,
all right. Thank you, Brian, for that image. So
Tyler, I'm sorry. We still love you.
At least Tyler's hand was on one of those Black Stallion outlines.
I still like Tyler's response better. It made me smile.
That was funny, and it lined up perfectly. But thank you again, Brian. So in repeat 15, the Eliminator. Again, we talked about this last time that we saw this truck. The chrome rims on the truck, and they give us the gray. Yeah, oh, well. It's definitely a truck that I've used for so many customs in the past just for its gray rims, so I'm sure that's what it's known for at this point. Does it become a severe pig warmer? And they only put bars leaks as the name, but it is a
that was so goofy why they did that. Looking at just double checking, the 2009, the first run does say Eliminator on the box, so I don't know why. Maybe because it was hard to read. I don't know, but
or they were just so busy they just didn't have time.
They had all these new trucks, you're just like boom, bars leaks.
I know, they're like, I give the same Eliminator. This is re-release number 15. Actually, the next two are also re-releases. So, like I said, we piled on the re-releases at the end, but again, we spent a lot. If you go back to the first part, there was a lot of money to be spent here.
So there's a Thrasher Maniac, 68, 69, and now 70. This is actually a variation, so many people don't know this. I only figured this out after I opened the truck up. So this is the 25th anniversary Chrome Gravedigger back again. And the variation here is actually the fact that they, like the real truck, made the blood graphics and anything that's red actually a transparent graphic so that it would reflect as a chrome kind of graphic. So that's actually really cool. It also has a semi-matte clear coat, if that makes any sense to you. So anyone that has this variation of this truck knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's also a plastic-based variation of this. So if you have the plastic-based variation, it's this one. But it was awesome to have. You can see these dark red areas in light. If you reflect it against a light source, it does reflect back as a chrome red. So like the real truck, they try to get a little more accurate. Unfortunately, with this revamp of the design, they did not give us anything newer. As far as graphics goes, this is still all sorts of messed up, but it was nice to have them return it. The one downside is that they gave us a standard Gravedigger flag for it, a big missed opportunity to give us a Gravedigger 25th anniversary chrome flag with the gray flames and stuff. So, yeah, but yeah, awesome to see this back. Just kind of a random one that they tossed in here, but anything to add for this one? Also a World Final Scheme design, but anything else, guys?
Man, this was a boo for me because like 2007 wasn't that far ago. And like the love obsession for this dang Gravedigger here. It's like, I tell you what, like we got to make a different Gravedigger, folks. Okay, World Finals line. This is the last World Finals for the year, and this is exactly what I talk about in that first part episode where the World Finals line segment is a good like excuse, but there's nothing to make from it because let's recap our World Finals trucks here. We get a King Crunch, which probably ran more than that World Finals. We get a Black Stallion that was a World Finals scheme. We get High Roller that had nothing to do with the World Finals other than advertising the World Finals. We get this Gravedigger that we just saw 2 years ago, like 3 years prior. And then the Scuba Avenger, which we would have got anyways. It was just an excuse to put it underneath the World Finals banner. So it wasn't the strongest line. And I'm not a fan of re-releasing special edition trucks like this. And I've said it before, even with like Spin Master, like they went back and did the 30th anniversary trucks. Like I'm not a fan of it. It's like there's a reason why these things are timepieces. And they need to stay in their timelines, in my opinion. I mean, it's cool that we get kind of a couple updates on this from 2007 because we talk about 2007's part 1 and 2, how those trucks came out and they were early on stuff. So my connection's unstable. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got a weird connection unstable thing I've never seen before. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just never a fan of that, and that's all I'm going to say.
I didn't mind it. I like the plastic chassis, or didn't like them, I guess. They were lighter, so there was a little difference in that. I got it because I had the metal frame one, needed the chrome frame one. It was a Gravedigger, didn't mind it. I think Spin Master redoing it on a plastic body with actual chrome, though, would be pretty wild.
Well, 2022 is coming up, 40th anniversary of Gravedigger. This was one of my suggestions for next year's celebration, so we'll see if that happens. Of course, now we do have plastic bodies, and chrome wrapping is coming out as the Spectra series. So, Spin Master, Jordan, if you're watching or listening, please, and maybe, I know Phil's shaking his head over there, but also I want to know one more thing. Gravediggers very rarely, if ever, have an actual Tampo Monstrum logo. When I noted this last time, and someone corrected me in my message request, this was actually on the real truck because there was no other placement of a Monstrum logo on this scheme. There's no tombstone to put it on. So they did have this decal in this size as well on the truck, on the real life truck and the diecast. So this is an accurate detail. So really nice to have that little thing. So thank you for whoever told me that. I can't remember the name, but that was really cool. And then we have War Wizard, and this is the same one as last time. We will eventually see this text, I believe, turn yellow or something to add to the differentiates it. Not yet. The only thing about it, you get a cool flag, a really cool flag.
This is re-release number
16. No, sorry.
16.
19. Because 15, 16, 17, 18. Number 18.
Okay, so then 19 it was coming up. So with the session, just spoiler alert.
Okay. So 72. The last time we're going to see the Hot Wheels hearse body. We've talked about it several different times in the past with these really strange first two ones, Cremator and Eliminator. Then we had the Undertaker WWE truck, which was a really rare one. And now we have the last one, which is another play on hearse bodies and death.
Forget the Cadillac arrest.
Cadillac arrest, of course. The actual only real life hearse truck. So 4 so far, and now the 5th and final. Another play on death and the hearse and those types of things. Cutting coroners. So instead of cutting corners, we have cutting coroners, which is, of course, the person who examines people who have died, usually at crime scenes or after someone dies, they'll call them the coroner. Coroners usually don't drive hearses, but it's a really cool play on it. That the examiner plus the truck or car that carries a body. So another dark humor one here, but really cool graphics. I love the gold. I love the logo. It looks like a familiar font to me too. I'm not sure if that's been used before, but really cool there. The windshield is actually this like pearlescent. Can't see through it, but it's a pearlescent like gold color, which is really awesome. And nice insert here. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this is actually a new revamp of the casting because they didn't have a plastic insert, I don't think, in the original ones. That might be new. And then we have the coroner's office logo here. So coroners and examinations of broken truck parts. And then a tire in the middle and a small silver flame graphic. So I love this truck. It's my favorite, except for the Undertaker, of the hearse bodies that have been released. And I hope Hot Wheels one day maybe brings it back, although maybe it doesn't fit as well now in the more kid-friendly times, but it's a really awesome one. So, Phil.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that hearse body's got some weird overtones to it. I'm just briefly looking. That piece is there, but I think it's a chrome piece. So that kind of where you're
okay.
going.
Yeah, never mind. That's right.
So, but I think it's not solid plastic except for here. So you're on the right track, unless I'm blind on some of these.
No, you're right. It was a chrome plastic. They just changed the color. So
well, yeah, it's different feels and sheens. So it's another one that kind of plays on words. It's kind of like cutting corners. Very goofy. I mean, out of the other hearse trucks, this has like the least amount of detail compared to crazy skeleton people or like an actual truck or one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So this one doesn't live up to snuff, but again, it was cool to get this body one more time. A shame we don't get to see it again. I don't know what Hot Wheels Monster Trucks is doing to maybe they can't use this hearse body. I'd love for them to get another hearse on a truck. That'd be rad. I know I don't know if we talked about it last week real briefly, but like, because we always sidebar a little bit how, like Hot Wheels Monster Trucks now has the food trucks in their line. Yeah. That's pretty fun.
That's very cool.
They're using the different school bus castings now. So why can't we get a different
there's some for that. I like that idea.
Well, let's get that going. This hearse itself, it is what it is. It came out in one of the later cases. It was a heavy hitter case, so it fitted pretty well and it sold well.
Yeah, I still have this flag hanging up with about 8 I have across the front of my garage. It's still up there. I liked it. Probably the second favorite scheme this truck had next to Undertaker and the original creation of this body.
To go back to Black Stallion, Tyler Ramirez, Savage One Customs, just shared his handprint from the original Black Stallion from World Final 6. So if anybody wants to check that.
Oh, I thought you were going to show us something. Okay, never mind. Just
tell his story. I'm going to make you go to his profile and get him some views.
Go check out. I'll tag his Instagram link. I just want to say one more time that I love the gold tones on this one, especially. Yeah. I love the sheriff color scheme on this body. That's a specific reason why I love it. The flag is also really cool with that examiners and coroner's office logo. So this is one of the best originals, I think, in my opinion, at least this year. And let me just finish tagging that link there for everyone to go check it out. So go check it out.
While you're doing that, there's a strange comment in here. A stuffed animal for third place is a shiny black.
I have no idea what's happening in the comment section.
Man, is that what's going on in the grade schools these days? Because you guys are weird.
One more thing I want to mention, kind of the silly things like this that Hot Wheels is still doing. The newest food truck from KSE 2021 singles is called Nacho Mamas. So
Nacho Mamas.
My mom didn't leave. They're really going. They're really taking creative freedom to the maximum level out there. So a hearse body justified. Play off some more things. So yeah, cutting corners just really cool. Super cool going through this one. If you want an obsession flag, here's your chance, but you're going to get
here's obsession again.
Yeah, there's that.
I don't. Is Rick running a different scheme at this time, or
it's a little different to me on here?
Oh, that truck's the same one. I just don't know in real life if he is.
Paint color, it's different.
We never quite get another obsession except for one they did in like yellows. So, oh well. All right.
And a theme that we're going to start seeing here with Eradicator is that they just become really rare because they're like a one-time deal, except for the one just before this, which is the Chevy body. This Eradicator with the purple, I remember taking a long time to find it. especially on eBay because I couldn't find it in stores. I really like it. The purple, although it's not like exactly how the real truck was, that was more of like a magenta purple combo with pink. The solid purple cage was awesome. I think until this point, and this is for customized of that time period, we more than likely never had a solid purple cage. Again, they tend to stay away from doing pink, purple, blue, at least for rim color, but for a roll cage, purple and pink definitely were not the top of the food chain for making them. So I really, really liked this truck just because the purple color is so strong. The Eradicator logo there, and it's a very basic one. You get Eradicator on both sides, and that's about it. Flag's cool too, but Phil, tell us about this one. Eradicator.
I have both. I can fill time, Phil, if you need to. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
RJ.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say I have both the 124 and 164 of this. Still to this day, just because of the simplicity of it, and it ran on tour. I mean, minus probably shouldn't have chrome rims, but should have white. But flag was cool. I don't mind simple trucks, so I liked it. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a simple truck mafia here, but it's an accurate scheme, folks. I mean, Eradicator was just purple chassis, black body, big
Boom. Eradicator.
And there it is, folks. I mean, to a T, like a glove. Although I think on the other side, is Andy Slifko's name on this?
I don't know. Mine's in storage.
Driver door, I don't remember. But if it is, then that's a cool little touch. If not, again, you're not going to screw this truck up.
Above the driver door, if that's the case, then no. But on here, maybe.
Well, yeah. I
can't see. Yeah, so there it is, Eradicator, just like for the purple roll cage. And finally, a somewhat more accurate, if it'll open for me slowly, Prowler. So here's Prowler. They give it more of a modern touch. Actually pretty accurate to the real truck here. So nice flag, nice Prowler. The only thing it's missing is those bright neon-ish color rims, but it's chrome rims, kind of changed up the scheme a bit. I'm noticing that the tailgate here should also have that white continuation, but they didn't grab it on this one. But I love the update to the face, the eyes, everything that they did here is really nice in terms of moving it towards a more accurate feel. For the last bit of time, probably has been a little just kind of basic, but it was really nice to have this update. I don't know if we see this again, actually, for a while at least, maybe, or maybe this might just be a one-time deal. But Phil,
but I think we get Prowler in the next year.
Okay.
The same, man. This knucklehead ride truck's pretty rad. Anywho, that's why I was yelling at Dahlgren. Post it. Yeah, this was cool to see, guys. Again, looking back to that old list, it says like Shocker. Okay, so just remember the sidebar. It's like Shocker's a standard truck. You don't know what Shocker you're gonna get. You're gonna get a new one. Obsession's a standard truck. It wasn't a new one. You get Eradicator's a standard truck. It's a new one. And then Prowler. It says Prowler 2. That's kind of weird. It was like, what's 2? But then it's like it's this, so it's like, whoa, hey, accurate scheme. Chrome rims is a big nene. It should be yellow, but like I think yellow rims would just set this thing off. But this is cool, man. I like the flag too. It's very reminiscent of crew shirts like Lenny Kilder would run around with forever. That's exactly that, like cloth. It's like they took that cloth and said, "Make me a crew shirt." So. This is pretty cool, man. It's definitely probably the winningest Prowler in all of Prowlers, in my opinion.
Yeah, the best. Looking at it now, I'm like, man, we need another updated Prowler. Crazy as that sounds, but because the paint scheme's different now. But yeah, looking back, truck to end this season, I went bananas over it. Well, it's a cat, so I went milk over it. I don't know. So, anyways, I was excited about it, and I loved it. And the chrome rims kind of hurt it, but I'm not complaining with how accurate the body was.
All right, yeah, so that's the end of the singles. Now we're going to hop into the special edition, but what a year. So 19 in total re-releases out of 75, so you were spending a lot of money. And for those that have to chase those down now for new collectors, variation collectors, all that stuff, you're going to be spending that money again double.
Hey, this year rules!
Yeah. So next up, Phil, how do we want to do this? Want to start with these guys, or do we want to do these real quick? Because these are kind of okay. We're going to run through these real quick. So keys to speed. Phil will fill you in on that in just a second. But basically, for the carded collectors, it's a package variation. Nothing that actually meant anything.
Oh yeah, I remember these.
So the trucks are the same. Yeah, so like I think Phil already mentioned the game piece. So keys to speed game pieces were on these packagings. So you can see right there. Peel to play, keys to speed, instant win game, no purchase necessary, blah, blah, blah. Phil, tell us about this so we can go through these as I do it.
Yeah, so as you go, I'll read them all out while you go through them here. It's Medusa, Monster Hunter Dalmatian, Captain's Curse, Avengers Spike, High Roller, Scuba Avenger, Scarlet Bandit.
He's going too fast.
Oh, no, you don't have to. I'm just reading them out loud.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Medusa, Monster Dalmatian, Captain's Curse, Avenger Mudra, Scuba Avenger, Spike, High Roller, Scarlet Bandit, Turtle, Dragon's Breath, Air Force, and Cyborg. Or it's one case. It's 12 trucks, so one each. I don't actually remember what Keys of Speed is. It was some promotion that Hot Wheels was running. It wasn't through Monster Jam. It was a Hot Wheels promotion. And it was towards the later part of the year. And these, I remember seeing these always like in Target. I don't know if they snuck in anywhere else, but like Target were a big part of these. I don't remember what the game was, or if, like, you win toys or experience of some kind. What's actually pretty interesting here is that High Roller in this line is the World Finals truck. It's part of the World Finals segment, as it always is. But if you go to the card back for the Keys of Speed, all the way at the bottom, actually listed underneath Monster Jam Classics. So that's
yep.
A weird little random tidbit. It's not on the truck itself, but just on the back of the cards, it would just say it's a Monster Jam Classic, but it's always still World Finals. So
I kept that card back just because I felt like High Roller was more of a classic. So yeah,
as do I. The phony World Finals line that did not really have much to it. So yeah, that was Keys of Speed. No need for you to go buy them unless you're really trying to 100% the cards here. But even then, I mean, you're talk about a little logo. That's going to drive you crazy. So, but that's the complete set. There was one per case.
All right, so now we're going to hop into the special editions, the true ones, not just carded collectors variations. This one is the second World Finals truck. So we talked about this last episode, or 2 episodes ago, 2009. The World Finals 10, which was one of 1,000, became the holy grail of the World Finals series, and still is. Very expensive, very hard to find. Phil talked about in detail why that was, because all the Double Down people went in,
said so.
Raided the Superstore tent, as they call it, and they were gone. So for the normal admission people for both days, they didn't get a chance to get one. So they only are now available to the people who had them that day. So that's even harder to get through. But with that in mind, Hot Wheels and Monster Jam decided to up it to the number that it stayed at for a little while, until I think Spin Master walked in actually really here. So one of 2,500. So they upped it by 1,500 units. I'll let Phil talk about if that actually helped like the public, the not Double Down people, get them, because I don't know. But in a second. Besides that, they gave it a really cool card design, like this white background with the Monster Jam logo and the World Finals like coming out of it. Really cool fire in the background. So they had the blue one originally. Now they have this white paint scheme. Just awesome. Change up here. So limited edition.
And that chassis is a different shade of black. It's like more of a gray.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So so here's the scheme itself. Before we talk about the chassis, the scheme is very it's a similar type. It has the Monster Jam logo, the World Finals logo in 3D, or the 11 or Roman numerals in 3D World Finals, the cursive that was a classic writing forever. And then we have the poker chips and the Vegas on the die. Those are very similar from the World Finals scheme previously. The white paint is new. These rocks in the wall kind of shattering with the fire in the background. The explosion is the difference in the scheme. But they did take a lot of design notes from the previous one to continue that continuity. And then the tailgate here has these like metal casts with March 26th, 27th, 2010. Some poker chips there. They still have the Ford logo, the grill, and the headlights painted in. Ford logo that actually says Ford on it. Only 2 trucks that have it. It's this one and the previous World Finals truck. And then the roof here, World Finals, the same rock and explosion scheme, and the Monster Jam logo with the USHRA badge and flags. And then, as Phil mentioned, this is, I don't even think we see it again, honestly. It's like this weird charcoal color roll cage, chrome chassis, and then it has the Spectre Flame, as I call it, the diamond bead locks. It looks like poker chips too, which is really cool with chrome. The previous one, they didn't have that Spectre Flame. At least I don't think they did at time of production, so they didn't give it those special rims. But it's really cool in the rendering of this truck. It has the grille and everything accurately done, and then they actually added those cool bead locks. And with that said, the last thing I'll mention before Phil steps in here, they actually gave you the option to write. I would not recommend doing this. Write on the card the Racing Champion, Freestyle Champion, and then it shows you the past World Finals champions, which is really cool. Location, commemorative, blah, blah, blah. So there's that. After this, I think it's when they start displaying the actual other trucks past. So Phil, tell us how these sold.
Okay, a couple things. Go back to that card back. I think there's a typo or something. I remember back in the day where there's a truck missing. Abraham Goldberg, T-Man's Wolverine, Avenger, Twill, Logan, Medusa, Batman. Instructions on the back. No, I thought there was something weird with that. Something misspelled or missing.
Misspellings, I don't see any.
Well, I'm getting old. I thought there was something weird with those. Well, nothing's missing either. There's no world champions missing from that time. Oh, okay. Well. Okay. But I remember there was a whole firestorm back in the day. Somebody had like a fake one of these on the internet and it's like, no, these are the real signatures from because they did.
Yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, here's something that makes you feel old, folks. Remember we used to do post-show autographs after the events at Monster Jam? They used to do that at the World Finals. So imagine sitting out there for 2 days, like signing autographs, and then you got to sign them on Saturday night after the event's over. Like, it was crazy. They used to split them up, 12 on one end, 12 on the other. So actually getting all – because they used to make it to where you only get to pick one line. You didn't get to go to both. So to actually get these both signed that night were really hard. And so our world champions that year were with Dennis Anderson, Charlie Pauken. I remember the Charlie Pauken one. Like, it looked like if that was a real Pauken signature, he must have been cold because it was really shaky and it was like really bad. But actually, I like what they did. So like, it matches a lot of the marketing materials from that World Final. So here's the Double Down program from that year. They gave out two programs back. Oh no, Double Down program's this one. They gave out two programs back in the day. This was the Double Down one. It was bigger, and then the normal booklet one that they always do at the World Finals. So
notice the Advanced Auto Parts logo difference in the Monster.
Oh yeah, that was something they never. So I don't know if these are produced before they inked Advanced Auto Parts, but that was a trend. Was that the next year too? No, I don't know.
No, next year I can see it from your has it on there. So
okay, yeah. So these must have been produced before Advanced Auto Parts was finalized.
Yeah,
but they came the same marketing materials. Actually, I'll go back to the regular booklet because I just realized I want to grab it to show the design. But I noticed there's a little bit render of the
there it is.
Not seen. I think there's one of the blue one that's in the World Finals from that year too. But it's
so Phil, how well did these sell? Like, did they sell as quickly? What happened?
From what I remember, they made it to the Saturday, which was the purpose. Okay. There was no more left after that weekend. It was like that for a couple years that they did sell that weekend. So it accomplished, I guess, what it was looking for to get it to more people. But these were gone by the time that got on. I know that they used to operate a stand inside Samboy Stadium in the middle, like at the end zone. There's a physical merch stand in Samboy Stadium. In the last couple of years, they would only use it as like a dispensatory for all the merch. But they actually did sell shirts and stuff in there. And I think that they would always make sure to save a couple cases for the people walking in that don't go to any of the pit parties. Regular people that just come for the event. So but those were gone too. None of these were made at .com or Superstore, I should say. So I'll let you talk about that. But yeah, plus for me.
I got mine off the online store. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed
You're
to.
a liar.
Okay, because I didn't have an eBay account back then, so I'm not sure how I got it. Other than it
You're
being
a liar. It's not real.
Custom.
Okay, I mean, I can literally go grab it off the wall for you, Phil. But anyways.
I just like how I told the whole story, and RJ made me feel like poopy. Thanks, RJ.
I didn't mean to destroy it that fast.
I lied.
All right. How about any comments on the design, RJ?
Yeah,
I loved it. That's why I got a couple of them. I loved it. I love the gray. Oh, that's nice. What's in there?
Yeah, Cyborg, because RJ's making me feel bad. Here's the 2010 one that they did.
That's
this
really
cool.
cool.
Double Down one. I don't remember if they did one regular.
Does it have the render inside? We got to keep going.
Yes, it does. We're almost done.
Show us, Phil. Let's go.
What would you eat? Here you go.
He needs to cook
Oh,
dinner.
there it is.
Look at it.
He must have not cooked dinner. He's getting crabby.
I haven't cooked dinner. No, we're running on an hour and a half. So, yeah. So there's World Finals.
We done in 2 hours. All good.
Just for the record, everyone, I'm back in college semester, so I have a lot of work. So I try to balance everything out, but we're good. We're here. But if Phil's going to try to take my time, I'm going to push back. So this is also the last time, by the way, we're going to ever see this casting used for a World Finals truck. Next year, we'll start the I'm trying to steal my trucks up there of the SUVs. So SUVs are incoming. Then it'll be pickup trucks again, and then to finish it off from Hot Wheels, it'll be SUV again. And then Spin Master goes back and forth again. So with that said, this really nice Ford Super Duty body didn't live for very long. So it was awesome to have it for both of the first original World Finals trucks. I really love these ones. They're classics. World Finals 10, of course, lives in history, more well-known than 11, but 11 still is a really nice piece to have. That beautiful white paint scheme, great accents done on it. And with that said, that's not our only World Finals truck this year. The only commemorative truck, yes, and the really rare ones. But they also come around and make 2 play sets this year. Well, one that's like a pack of like things to crash into that also include World Finals trucks. So here's the set, the World Finals crash pack. So you got some hay bales.
You should also do the other one first, but okay.
Okay. Crush cars and this ramp here, and then Brian actually has a custom package. This is not how it was done. So this is his custom package of this truck. So you can see it's a very basic truck, but it's really cool. It will trip people up, and they will think it's from an actual World Finals event, which it's not. I know Phil's going to have some stories about that in a second. But you can see it's like a pinstripe flame World Finals with this really cool text, and it actually has the Monster World Finals logo with the cursive font Hot Wheels, and that's it. Like there's nothing else on this. That's all it has. White rims too, black roll cage chrome chassis. So Phil, for this first one, tell us what you think about it.
So this will be in general for both the play sets. So that was another big thing from community feedback. They talked about the play sets, how playability is a big thing, but also where does it stand from the collectors? And from the previous play sets, they were just a lot of like crash trucks into cages or ramps and weird things that were not very realistic to what the kids are seeing at the events. And a lot of collectors said like their play sets could be fun, but appeal to kids in the same way. And it's like, well, how do we get collectors to appreciate this stuff? And it's to make it exclusive. It's like, yeah, the last couple had like special gravediggers with like a roof decal or whatever, but that's not enough of a reason. So, and it's kind of weird how like these 2 playsets are really the only time that I consider true playset exclusives. Now, there are like playsets that come out that have like an exclusive like shock therapy on a certain body style or stuff like that. But these are a lot cooler, and this playset is the pinnacle because this is just to make your own stuff. It's like the outside of like that slime arena and what stuff. It's like the first time you get crush cars, you get cones to make courses, you get a ramp. Like there's so much imagination here, and I don't remember these being at like the big major retailers at first, and I say like Walmarts and Targets and stuff. I think they eventually did. But like places like the Kroger's would get them, and Myers, places like that.
Yeah,
this was like the pack for the Carpet League people or collectors who wanted to have a display table with some obstacles on. This was,
and like the truck isn't like a barn burner, but again, it's that special and exclusive where. It's a reason to get it. So that's super cool. Now, there are people that kind of come on and say, like, oh, I got this World Finals truck at a yard sale. Is it rare? It's like, no, sorry, because we do remake this playset a number of times.
Yeah.
So not quite special, but first go around big time.
Yeah, and actually, as Brian said in the comments, I'm not sure if it's on eBay, but this specific version has become a little rarer than the other one we're about to take a look at. So if anyone out there, my friend Brian Spalding's a great guy. So if anyone on the Facebook group or anyone watching has one, get him one. He's a great guy. So there's that.
Go to bigger places. That's why you had to go look a little bit for this one.
Yeah, this one, however, is more frequently seen. So this is the other World Finals paint scheme. By the way, this is the new stunt stadium. We'll see it many times think we will see it many more times. So you basically crush through the Sandboyd Stadium inspired sign. I think that's what that is. Cool ramps.
Uh-oh.
I think his internet's hungry too.
Well, yeah.
He's going to come back in. It's really at the end of his story, and we're all confused what he's talking about. I'll take it over for him. Yada yada yada. It's got a lot of cool ramps and stuff. So like, if you were to look at the back of the package, I know y'all can't see it because he's frozen.
A very similar paint scheme. Basically like a stretched out design of the previous one. We get the same pinstripe.
Brother, I gotta steamroll you because nobody heard a word what you said. You froze.
Oh, okay. What I was saying, I'll start again. Stunt Stadium, we'll see it a couple times after this. This is the first time through it with this one. So we have what I think is a Sandboyd Stadium inspired billboard or Tron here, and then you crash through it. These flames will pop out. These flames pop up, and you crush them. You have a donut spinner. You have a ramp that's adjustable for height. It comes with, and this is what I was kind of talking about until I found out I wasn't talking at all. It comes with the only, I believe, crush car campers or RVs ever. So really cool stuff. I do hope Hot Wheels eventually does do campers in their die-cast crush cars because they are using those for their drive-through display. So that's really cool. They also come with 5 other crush cars, just standard ones, same castings on each one of them. But those are the start of their I think they're just called crush cars. They're the ones that you push back together. They're plastic little hinges. So really cool. Awesome like fans in the background. Just a really cool truck playset. Also great for displays and stuff. And there's that. And then here's the truck it comes with, which is the second World Finals truck. So if you look at the design here, it's very similar. It's basically like an extended design of the previous one, at least the graphics go, as far as the graphics go. So the pinstriping, a little bit of purple in it now, some white, and that same orange kind of flame design. The only difference between like that design and this one is the paint colors changed to black, and they also are using the cursive classic World Finals logo or graphic style. They don't use it anymore, but that's that classic one there. Hot Wheels Monster Jam logos are there, of course. Tailgate, actually, this one has more details as well. Tailgate has the pinstriping again, purple, red, white World Finals on there. No headlights or anything, but they do have a giant Monster Jam logo, the older one with the official Monster Truck series on top. Pinstriping in orange this time, and World Finals on the hood, blue chassis, and gray rims. So, Phil, if you want to add anything else to this one.
Yeah, the playset again, just what I was just saying, like community feedback kind of brought this to life. It's like, well, my kids watch the event in an arena or a stadium. It's like, why aren't you building me a stadium? And outside of the world's strangest playset from Italy that we've ranted about in 2006, we don't get that. So here's the actual stadium. It's got a lot of fun features. Like I know I bought this playset. I never used it. I just wanted that truck because the incentive to get this exclusive truck was enough for collectors to go out and find it. That's why these type of trucks, even again, like the design's not looking to win the truck of the award, but it's an incentive to actually make collectors buy. Instead of telling me I have to go buy a Blaze Crash playset because you changed the rim color on Gravedigger. That's not enough of an incentive. And I know Spin Master does it a lot now with like, well, I got the mud tires with the monster dirt sets and things like that. But it's like this is a radically different truck you can only get in these play sets. So that's a huge plus, and it's enough of change. It's not like I'm putting in like this is the only set you can get a Time Flies in. Like that would be that people go up, would be upset. It's a middle of the road truck where it's like it's not a barn burner, but it's enough reason for collectors to say, I'm going to buy this play set, give the play set to like my nephew, and then keep the truck. Yeah. So it's worth it.
That's what I did. I think my nephew was maybe like a year old this time, or something like that. And I remember giving him the play set and spinning the trucks in the little donut spot, taking the RV and the crush cars out of the set because I wanted those for the Carpet League and the truck. And yeah.
Yeah. So there it is. The 2 World Final trucks alongside World Finals 11 debuting out here. I believe for the only time you'll see these guys in 2010. Talked about all these keys to speed. No, nothing really new with them, but we have a lot of monster duos. So with that said, we do have some repeats in here. I think the first one being Bone Shaker. I think maybe I can't remember.
I'll go back to 2009 stuff.
I know Bone Shaker. I know that we've talked about how weird this looked, which was the Monster Mutt Dalmatian with the jaded casting. So there's Dalmatian. I'm sorry, Passion, not jaded.
In 2008, the duos were Captain's Curves, Hot Wheels, and Dalmatian. So a lot of new ones here.
Okay. So Bone Shaker was new. I'll come back to it. So first new one, my favorite one out of the set is the Avenger. So here's the Avenger and the main part, which of course is its car. So there's that awesome Avenger car there with that Bel Air casting. So if you want an Avenger Hot Wheels car, here's your chance. I never bought this one. I never found it actually. It has really cool clear seats too. But yeah, I wish I would have found this one. I just never did. So there's the Avenger.
Avenger was a big deal because this was we talked about in 2009 of the 2009 episode. How this neon Avenger was a late add to the 2009 line because it was a dark green and a light green, but the light green was like ultra hard to find. So everybody wanted that light green Avenger. Everybody bought this duo. Every single person, like even if you were not into the duos, you bought this one because that was an accurate Avenger. The one that came out in the main stuff was a mud, so this was clean. So it's a winner for personality, but it's for everybody bought this. That's why I probably couldn't find it because everybody had to stop what they're doing to buy this.
Yeah, the car I didn't mind the El Toro logo, the Avenger. Under it was more of the need for me, but I did like having these cars to sit out in pit parties for the Carpet League and whatnot.
Why is Tord naming all the world champions?
I don't know. Yes, there's Avenger, arguably the best one. And then we have Backdraft. For the sake of time, if we just want to quickly run through them. So Backdraft.
Yeah, Backdraft was Rescue Ranger. Kind of cool, the use of the bodies. Again, it's pretty cool how the duos were using a lot of the similar or the exact same. So. Yeah. There's Backdraft. We don't get it back. Oh, yeah, we do. Silly me. Never mind. Yeah. Keep going.
So 57 Chevy Bel Air obviously is that car. Rescue Ranger. Now we have the 1989 Batmobile.
No. I'm sorry.
I thought you were saying no. Like, stop. Never mind.
No. Sorry, man.
So for Batman collectors, this is another one you want to pick up. I know there's superhero fans that collect different lines and stuff. So if you never knew this existed, for Monster Jam, here's that car. Yeah, the F-150. This is one of 2 that I've purchased in the past. Yep. Just because I remember this truck rolling around Anaheim shows. This was a thing that they used to do with this truck. It was a T-shirt cannon truck. So I had to have this for my displays and stuff. And I still have this somewhere in my Hot Wheels collection. I love this one. I absolutely love it. So there's that. It comes with the old Blue Thunder.
A lot of people bought this one too because when you go to the events a lot, they had used to have the T-shirt cannons. They would have vehicles that looked just like this. They were wrapped. They had wrapped F-150s that looked like Blue Thunder. So this one is like another real life, little subtle one where it's like you could have this in your league, intermission at your show. You push
the intermission Carpet Leagues needed these.
Exactly. This was a must-have. Must-have.
I had a couple of them for every different tour. It was cool. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely a must-have on that one. So really cool one. My favorite one, besides Avenger, which I didn't get, but my favorite of the ones I did find. And Bone Shaker, there's Hot Wheels collectors that really solely collect Bone Shaker. So if you don't have this Monster Jam Bone Shaker and you're watching your Hot Wheels collector, here's one as well.
And I'm not mistaken, this Bone Shaker, I think was like a modified casting for the time, the car itself. So that's why I'm not a Hot Wheels car collector, but I think I remember that being part of the discussion. So
because the roof usually on Bone Shakers are open, and the truck's casting is not open, so they modified it for this.
Yeah, so that's why collectors are like, "Oh, that's weird." So
Bounty Hunter actually got one too, another independent with the Baja Breaker. Not really that close to the Bounty Hunter, but it's really cool.
They packed this with the Checker Shucks Kragen Bounty Hunter, which we do not have in 2010, but the car is like the minus Checker Shucks Kragen decal Bounty Hunter that we do get in 2010. 10.
Yeah.
So.
Also, a good note, you can see the graphics are horrible here. This is the start of when Hot Wheels cars changed to the new graphic system. Eventually, the Monster Jam system will follow that as well, but this
Here
is
it comes!
Yeah.
no.
It's all over from here. You can see the Monster Jam logo is illegible. It's going to get bad. I do like, however, it has that retro van feel with that little round window. It's a really cool one, but it doesn't really match the real life truck as well. RJ, if you have any thoughts on this one too.
I just liked it with those beefy tires on it. I'm the type of person that likes lifting his vehicles that he drives every day. So seeing this was kind of like, okay, lifted van. Yeah. The truck under it blew my mind because this is the perfect chance to get a regular release, correct new deco bounty hunter to match.
We don't get that.
And we don't get it.
Okay.
That's about it. Just that we didn't get it, and it was kind of weird to me, but I like the car more than the truck.
We've covered this one before in the previous episode, 2008. The jaded car in Caps's Curse during its debut year. So there's that. And this one, the second one I got because I really wanted this one. This is the Gravedigger. It's the old Gravedigger for whatever reason, but it's Gravedigger nonetheless with the new graphics on the car. Also suffering from Hot Wheels' really bad graphics. So you can't read anything besides the Gravedigger.
Without flames on it.
The only thing I could tell that was on this truck was some tombstones, that badge, of course, the name, and a Hot Wheels logo, and the spooky face. And
a cool thing about this car, actually, I didn't even get the name before I clicked it.
It's got the roof deco too.
Yeah, the panel truck, actually, the hood opens up and reveals the motor, which was a really nice feature. But I had to have this one. I had to have that Blue Thunder because I've seen it at so many shows of the past. The only one I regret not getting was Avenger. And then Hot Wheels, which we already saw previously as well. I think that was, sorry, I didn't click the,
Off track.
Off track. So off track again with that. So not much to talk about with it. So
before then too, how it does. They both say beat that. That could be a variation on the cars.
Yeah, it could be. And then Whip Creamer for maximum destruction.
Why?
Like this is the dumbest like mold you could have pulled out.
I bought this because I remember.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't know why though, because the truck wasn't different. But maybe I just bought it because this is the weirdest looking car I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It just pairs very well with the weird
it's
Max.
Called Whipped Creamer.
Yeah.
All right, folks. This is the last time we actually see this body, except for a flashback.
This
so
is it. It's its farewell.
Write your last fight because 2011. We get the deluxe jumper. We talked about that part one, but folks, it's coming. 2011, big time.
Another really weird one, Purple Passion with this just crazy, creepy looking Dalmatian. I wish they would have done the normal Monster Mutt when they had the chance with that.
There's no variant on the Hot Wheels, by the way, but yeah.
And finally, the last duo that we ever see, a great pairing because this casting is another really well collected casting by Hot Wheels collectors. We also did a major in-depth discussion about this small cow, big cow variation. Obviously, at this time, they're not going to use the big cow, so there's no variation in the car. But dairy delivery, the car itself does get Utter Madness decals. So for dairy delivery collectors out there, which there are a huge community of, here's your chance to find this as well. Bad graphics versus good graphics. You can see that difference there. It's pretty.
I love the comment by D Dominator. My grandma used my Maximum Destruction as a doorstop.
Yeah.
Folks.
Hey, if it makes him feel any better, my mom threw away my original Goldberg, and it took me like 20 years to get one back. So, hey, we didn't throw it away after that.
So Phil's going to have a large amount of things or a lot to say about these.
Oh, we get to see some guys, too. Yes, sir. All
they're
right.
back for the last time until maybe this year, which we've heard rumors and seen boxes labeled Easter trucks for Hot Wheels. Easter Beast.
Okay.
There's a lot of trucks in here that just are, but we're going to start with the most significant one. Phil's going to tell you the story of it. They've also changed the the card art or card design to be like 3 eggs and a little bit of grass. So card collectors probably are not very happy with all the 3D stuff going on here, but there it is, special Easter edition. Walmart, I believe Phil said, for these exclusives. So here's Avenger, gray chassis, of course, continuing, black roll cage, these pale yellow rims. Let him talk about that in just a second, but there's the rest of it. Same Avenger body. Phil, tell us why this was so important to collect these back then.
Why suddenly? First of all, I realized we don't have these numbered on the website. We just have them alphabetized. Brian must have not been able to see the number.
I didn't see it until you mentioned that, so that's fine.
That's funny. Okay, so like this is around the time Jim Kohler went down to Australia twice, and there was an Australian Avenger running in Australia. It was originally a partnership, and actually, fun fact, sidebar, our recent guest on the Monster Truck Outlaws of the West podcast was Corey Clark. He drove the Aussie Avenger a lot down there. Corey Clark drives V8 Bomber, Hot Wheels Europe. So that's okay, Brian. I forgive you.
Yeah, we forgive.
We're still watching.
The Aussie Avenger. The Aussie Avenger had like a bright orange chassis. It was like really out there. They originally built it to be a Bugs Bunny truck. Bugs Bunny deal did not come through because Kohler was going to go down there to drive Bugs Bunny. And then all of a sudden at the last minute, it was like, wait, we found like a 55 of a Chevy body. We'll paint it as Avenger.
And it was like
graphics to make it look like Avenger again. Okay, so chassis was all orange, but the rims were yellow. So people put their make-believe hats on and pretended this was their Aussie Avenger. I know it just gave customizers a good little layup to find an orange frame, maybe steal a Prowler, and get a really rad custom going. Actually, the Prowler chassis wouldn't even fit this thing. You would have.
I was about to say.
I don't think there's an orange chassis out there that would have fit this. But yeah, I think anybody that got the Easter Beast, this was the crowd favorite by far, just because of the imaginability. And there you go.
Yeah. RJ?
It was. I liked it for that reason. The Aussie Avenger. Of course, the frame you kind of like, but I liked this season of Easter Beast, and this was also the year I found him in my Easter aisle, not my normal Hot Wheels aisle, and that sent me on a
let me just say here before we talk about the others, I did not find these at all, which is shocking.
I never found them either because I didn't have a Walmart. I thought they were in Target, so I never found them.
Oh, yeah, I think I may have found like the Stone Crusher once, and I told him before. Tanny and Rude's dad gave me a full case of these. Like at a World Finals. That's how I never even opened them. They're still in the box that Steve gave them to me. But yeah.
So next up, a not welcome face. I know Phil's not happy with this one.
I'm not making face. This stinks. This is Donkey Kong. It's got the eyes, folks, but
its rim colors really pushing the bounds of a variation.
This is one of the reasons why Easter Beast did not exist ever again. Because this thing stinks. It looks exactly like the same rims as before. This is supposed to be like a faint peach orange.
Yeah.
It's a peachy orange.
But it's already tan. It's just
should have been. It never should have been peach. It should have been red.
Yellow on it.
And I know I make fun of that. I'm old, but if I really had these two put together, or I wouldn't know what one supposed to wear. Nasty.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I would throw on the same shirt, walk outside, and be like, "Oh, they're different colors by this much."
Yeah. No, when I was chasing this, and this was one of the loose variations I was trying to find, trust me, it took a while. Only thing that helped, actually, no, nothing helped me find this better because it had a black chassis.
Oh, black. It's not gray.
No, it's a hard one. People often ask me, is this Donkey Kong Easter Beast? I'm like,
I don't
I don't know. Actually, no, I don't think I even found this loose. I think I eventually did buy it from someone that had on card because I just had to confirm.
I just gotta say, all the colors in these Easter Beasts this year are almost all faded, except for the yellow.
Really pastel-y. So
this one was my favorite, of course.
They had all the errors from the previous year. So here's Gravedigger. This year's is green.
New decal.
It's not like a green. They've tried to make it like an Easter green, but it just looks like faded.
Yeah, well, they're making it pastel like an Easter egg, so that's why. It's pastel.
I didn't mind this one. Ryan, is this updated graphics?
I don't know if last time was not updated, but something looks different. Let me just for the sake of our minds go back real quick. So green rims. Last time was purple.
Like that black too, but we'll get there.
Was it 2009? Let's go down. Oh, sorry, I went too far. That's not even the right year.
Whoa,
That's the right year.
2003.
Updated.
Oh my, hold on.
So they are updated. All right.
Well, now that I realize they were updated, I don't know if I mentioned 2009. I think that's why people were excited because that was the first time we saw.
Yeah, that's why I got
the graphic Gravedigger because we didn't get the standard one until much later, until 2009.
Yeah. So pastel purple. Now we have pastel green in 2010.
Look how more bright those colors were in 2009. Yeah. Like the solid colors, not faded. Yeah. Pastel-y.
I didn't mind.
Pastel-y.
I got
another independent here, Jurassic Attack with pastel yellow.
I mean, Phil hates them all because they're too pastel-y, but I didn't mind this one.
They just look like they ran through the carpet league too many times.
Well, yeah, I had an Easter shell back then, so these are.
Now, Here's our favorite take. Not a boo for this one though. This is the only Hot Wheels Monster Jam truck of all time to ever have pink rims. So this was significant for collectors or customizers. So I am sure it peg warmed. I'm sure it still did. But for customizers, the only pink rims to ever exist by Hot Wheels Monster Jam and their series, you're looking at them. Easter Beast, Scarlet Bandit.
And they used the old checkered Shucks Greg and Scarlet Bandit after we just got a very bright pink one in 2010. Maybe because this is also dull pink, it would just outshine it. Disgusting, horrible.
So there's that, and then Spike has some nice pastel blue to match his eyeball. Actually, it matches it really well, the eyeball color, so that's nice. Stone Crusher with pastel blue as well. And then another one that's very hard to differentiate, except for the chassis color. That's the only thing that's going to help you.
Yeah.
Same rims as Donkey Kong's Easter Beast rims. These peach colored Taz.
This is a little easier to know because like the Taz does like their rims are a lot more like tanner. Darker color.
Chassis.
Yeah. This is to figure out.
We have no red at all in this series, and red would have benefited Donkey Kong at least to differentiate it. Also,
we had the red in 2009, but like
I know. I'm saying in this year to help people. In the future, that's going to be collecting these variants. This should have been red. There's no.
And you know what the problem is here? So we get the first year we get 10. That's 8. I hate to say it, like I think they went too big with the 10 from 2009. It was like every big name.
Yeah.
Kind of weakened it. It's like, hey, remember Bounty Hunter? Well, how about the Scarlet Bandit? Like, it's kind of
yeah. So we're going to finish off here on two just packaging things for carded collectors. So for Target, they also got an Easter thing like they did last year. We have just nothing new about these trucks, just the same stuff. Phil, want to talk about this, or did we talk about this last time? Something like that?
Well, it was the ones in the bottom of the package. This was like a game that they put on here. It's something different. It's like some sort of game, like you cut out the coins, and then because the idea was that your package transforms into like a ramp. They're ramps. So that's kind of unique. And then they made a game out of this.
Tells you right here all the info on that if you want to.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Wait, you know what's kind of weird? Like they make tough. Oh, it's pretty sad. It's like Tough Enough's on the package there. It says spin out, lose 1 point. Like they're just devaluing the poor work of the Cyborg.
Hey, Backwards Bob from the Encore made it in there.
1 point, yeah. Backwards Bob lose 1 point because you don't know which way he's going. Ha!
Yeah. Really cool stuff. So the not variations, the trucks. We have
logo, Superman. Surprisingly, the yellow Destroyer and actually this Gravedigger with gray rims is actually the only winner in here.
Yeah, that's what you pick it up.
The previous year was Chrome, but and the Superman's Spectre Flame.
Yep,
Toro's just in there. Then you got another chance for Destroyer, which is on the weird chassis. So this is like hodgepodge. It's not like the previous year, the Bash kit, where everything was gray rims except for the Superman, which made another reason to buy it. So this one sat there, and this is the last box set Target gets. They get another Easter deal, but not like a box set.
Yeah. And then if I recall correctly from the past, we haven't had anything over a 5-pack yet. So 8 trucks is I think the largest pack yet.
Can I read these just out loud? They're just saying tour favorites we know and love. There's only 2 of them packed in a box. So tour favorites 1, Virginia Giant, Bounty Hunter, that pesky grim silver and Airborne Ranger, the old scheme, and then Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Destroyer, Battleship, Reptoid,
no van
wheels. Guys, it's the same ones that have been packed in for years. And these were made for Costco, and they put just 2 of the 4 packs in one big box.
Them together.
But the cool part about this, and Ryan showed the back of that card, that just looks so cool. Look at all those trucks back there.
Yeah.
That's very reminiscent of like
2003.
Those early 6 packs where they have everything on the back there. Just a lot of flex here.
Yeah.
Nothing different with these trucks. They're the same thing, tour favorites you bought for the last 3 years. They're just in a big box for Costco. I think they get a little bit changed up for the next year, but
yeah. And then all our card backs, we're not going to really focus on them, but if you want to look back on them, check out the website, of course.
The card back is great here. Just saying. Like,
I just want to note this little flare up here is not on the actual casting, and the roll cage color is not dark green, but there's Airborne Ranger and stuff. I'm just looking for maybe variations. Big
You
cat.
know, while we're looking through the card backs, if there's anybody that has like a hard pressed question on 2010, now's your chance.
It's so weird. Small hubs are still being used for some renderings.
This is the greatest toy line.
Greatest
guys.
toy line ever.
The
I mean, it had Rage and Steel in it. Can you top that? No.
The community had so much involvement in this line.
Yeah.
The problem is, and this is what's wrong with 2010, set the bar way. I like that. That's funny. It's facing the wrong way, but it's funny.
Yeah, no, I like how they actually changed it from going to wheelie stance to doing a moonwalk now stance.
Yeah, it didn't exist back then. That was endo.
And that was an oopsie.
It was an oopsies. This line set the bar way too high, folks.
Yeah.
So we kick off 2011 Part 1 next week. Our emotion's not going to be as excited because they set the bar too high. We'll talk about it again more next week where it was like it was in there, our community involvement, but not to this level.
Just to give a quick little peek here at what we're about to embark on.
Oh, yeah. How can we ever forget the running
grading trucks?
Which is why.
Yeah, so we are going to split this up. I was just thinking right now why we're splitting up. But we have yeah, no, I can't. We have a lot of stuff going on here. So
yuck, folks. It's mainly in part because 2010 was too good, but they didn't help themselves at all. It's like everything, like they tripped out of the gate and then like somebody broke their ankles. It was just not good. So if we let's go back to 2010 so we can worry about this eyesore next week. A couple questions I saw. It says, so fear from my Joey Hot Air Balloon Struts. He has a cool hot air balloon podcast. Check him out. Were any trucks planned for this year that did not happen? Well, we talked about the Rap Attack that was supposed to be a classic, but it was regular instead. So that, and surprisingly, as much as community feedback as we got, it was never made apparent that there was something that missed a cut. That Rap Attack is something I just recently discovered looking at the old checklist, and I think it's something people missed from over the years. So discovery here tonight. But surprisingly, I don't think there was anything that did not make the cut. I know in 2011 there's a notable truck, but not here in 2010, surprisingly. I know Tyler Mears showed that Wrecking Crew picture. It was why does Wrecking Crew appears white on the card backs? It was the glare because they tried making the yellow Spectre Flame, and it was instead of making it like that poo color, it was like they just made it like white and shiny. So kind of funny. Yeah. Burner Cast is Struts Balloons there. Is it Sheer Insanity? No, Sheer Insanity comes out in 2012, so I don't think it was ever planned for 2011, but we'll talk about that when we get to it next week. I don't even remember where that truck is affected because it's not – that's 2011's numbered, so I don't remember where the number of that truck comes out. So we'll talk about that then. Just know that 2010 rules so much. If you ever hit the lottery, do yourself a favor and buy every truck in your package. I think we counted 19 re-releases.
Yeah.
That's insane. There are like some lines where we get 19 new trucks.
Yeah.
They flip hardcore here. Everybody. So justify yourself. There's 75 true trucks, and there's like a couple flag variants and stuff. 19. We have to only buy 19 more to get the whole set. People did it, man. And like these look cool. Like I'll buy that Taz I don't need because it was cool.
Yeah.
Slippy Junior. Hi. What a name.
I do want to just say, like Phil said before, and we've all said before, this was the best of the best. So we've hit our apex, and we're not going to ever achieve such an apex again.
It really goes downhill from here because there are a lot of good ups along the way.
Yeah.
Like there's some pretty good ones, but man, the problem with 2010 is that this set the bar way too high. Like when Spin Master first came out in
2019.
Okay. That was pretty darn good just because it was kind of rethinking what like wasn't possible. Although Hot Wheels also flexed in their own way, saying like, you said we couldn't do it, maybe we weren't allowed to do it. So it was kind of like a big flex off in 2019. It was just like, oh yeah, we weren't allowed to do it. Yeah. What'd you say? We wanted to do a ride truck, huh? Like,
Funny story behind that one. I'll tell that one when we come to that episode.
That
was my fault. That was all my fault. No, that's one of my failures of my time.
Man, yeah, this at the bar. This is a love letter to the whole collector community. They again, 2011 has some collector involvement. Some of like the loose ends that are like, we'll get it next year, guys. But the problem is the rest of what's in 2011 was like, oh yeah, like all your people. It's almost like all the cool coworkers we had in 2010. We fired all of them, and we replaced them from Billy Bob from down the road who don't know nothing about toys. So it was kind of like, what happened?
Tattoo, yeah.
Well, it's like you see, I wasn't too mad about that.
Well, I have a huge set.
Some of the trucks that they came out with in 2011 was like picking up the same repetition from like 7, 8, and 9. It was like 2010 was like the exception. Yeah. And then it was like, hey, remember Tropical Thunder, kids? Here it is again. Like,
it's just
like what happened?
To make the point solid for Hot Wheels Monster Jam, at least, it's never going to get that good again. So prepare for our criticism to return.
It's good, just not as good. Okay,
and we'll get to a pretty bad year, 2014.
I don't know, man. This 2011 gives me some hard.
2014 is pretty memorable to me. That was just the lowest of the low.
Because that was the first year I wasn't collecting.
Okay, well, good for you because there's nothing to collect.
That 2011 gets ugly. It's like we talked about in what was the year 2002 where they changed was the yellow and the gray logos.
2000, yeah. You
got to put up that backdraft, man. The backdraft variant we found.
Yeah, it's funny. We will see actually that same yellow and gray variant happen again in 2017, 2018.
And the
Christian's new logo with the yellow outline. They do it on all the 2017 trucks, and then in 2018 they do the gray. And it's like.
Or if you collect the Christmas ornaments, you still see like the yellow ones on like the Earthshaker you bought this year.
Yeah. Anything else in here?
If any other hard pressed comments on 2010, I mean, we really hit it far and wide here with these. If you didn't check the part 1 episode, you got to go back to that. It's a lot longer than this one. It's just hardcore detail on so much stuff, and a good reminder, like that first half of the year was so lopsided. So yeah,
it is.
Check that out. Yeah, there's old Rage and Steel.
There was quite the discussion on Rage and Steel, so don't miss that. With that said, I think we'll leave it here at 2 hours. Really good podcast.
Really nothing else to add here. Just long live 2010, man. This is the stuff of legends.
Yeah, it really was. And now we're back to the stuff of not so legends. So I'm excited either way. Podcast, I've mentioned this last time. I go to the podcast, I get off, I eat dinner. I wake up on Tuesday and I'm like, okay, podcast is a while from now. Wednesday, I'm like, a podcast is coming up. Then the rest of the week just flies by and I'm back in a podcast. It's just like, where did my days go? So I'm excited. I should just be excited at this point to get back in it. So anyway, that's about it. So thanks guys for watching. And until next time, we will see you in the next podcast for March 1st. Welcome to March. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, RJ. And until next time, this is Ryan, Phil, and RJ signing out.